Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday night's edition of Paranormal Question of the Day. We'll be right back right after the short intro. And we are back. So I hope everybody's had a good Monday. Scott and Michelle, hopefully you guys had a good Monday as well. Partially. And yeah. So what's on your guys' mind tonight?
Investigation.
That's right.
Lots of sleep.
What's that?
Said sleep.
Sleep.
Yep.
Right. And here is our our title for tonight. We're going to be talking about the museum, what we did last time we were there on the 12th. And let me get the comments right here in case they pop in. So the 12th was a pretty good doozy of a night, if I say so myself. There was it was kind of hit and miss. I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
A little quiet.
But it was freaking cold.
It was.
If you didn't realize it was cold and shit. And Michelle was having none of it.
Nope.
This shit's too goddamn cold for me. I don't want to be under. Why did you pick a day when it's so freaking cold outside? I'm like, I didn't know.
Why do you gotta pick a day that it snows?
It just happened to be that day. It snowed. So, but so we'll get started. There's I don't know if there's anybody in chat here or not yet. If there's anybody watching, we got 4 watching. Thank you for the 4 that are watching here. And hey, Rich, how you doing? So anyhow, my phone set up again. Sorry. So we started out today. We had 3 locations that we went to, and we end up going to start off the day. Hey, Andy, how you doing? And we went to the Plainfield Cemetery and just have a chat with Ed Gein and Augusta and Henry and that side of things. So Scott, you were there for us getting there, and what were you catching while you were there before we got there?
I went out to Mary Hogan's gravesite, and I tried using the Spirit Talker there. I wasn't really getting anything that I understood, so I left there and went to Ed Gein's.
Okay.
And the EVP's there, and I wasn't getting anything across Spirit Talker there as well. It made sense.
Mm-hmm.
So all I was getting was the background noise from the highway and the wind and suffering.
Suffering. So at that point, me and my wife showed up, and Michelle hasn't arrived just yet. And so at that point, we were going to do a dual Spirit Talker session. And for those of you that don't know what Spirit Talker is, it's an app that's on your phone on iOS or Android. It's a fairly cheap app. Hey, Tom, how you doing? And so the app is about $4 app, and I think it's one of the most spot-on apps that I've ever used. For every location I've been to, it's been spot-on for everything. Granted, now being at a cemetery with so many other souls that are buried there, we're going to get all sorts of different names and whatnot. So I kind of expected something like that to come through. And so for the most part, we're doing okay. We are freezing our asses off. Awesome. Doing great, Tom. We were freezing our asses off, and I thought that the Spirit Talker session that we were doing together went pretty good. We both had our recorders on top of the headstones and whatnot. But you are right. It was very hard to, in the replay, it was hard to hear anything because the wind was blowing so hard in the recorders. So I tried to dumb it down a little bit in um, an audio app, and I still couldn't make out anything. So I guess for next time when we go out there, maybe in the summertime when it's nice and warm, we'll put some dead cats on our recorders and see if that helps a little bit. And maybe it won't be as windy.
Yeah.
So Michelle, at this point, she had arrived, and as we were in the middle of our Spirit Talker session, now you do scribbles in your book. You want to explain to those who don't know what those scribbles are that you do in your book?
Scribbles for me helps me like at a fast, quick response to get yourself to relax, to communicate. So I just scribble and it brings on energy. And the harder the scribbles get is the stronger the energy. So that's pretty much what it is.
Okay. And see, it took me a while to understand that portion side of things because honestly, I really don't see that very often. I see it where people draw like, figures or whatnot, or they just start like, what do you call it? It's the hand thing. What do you call that? Well, I can't think of it now. Where your hand just basically it just takes over writing and whatever that's called. I forgot what it's called. Ghost writing, whatever you want to call it. Someone will help me out here.
Oh, I really don't know the answer.
Yeah. Anyhow, but I mean, as we were going on, and I know I was asking a lot of questions to Augusta, and I guess I single her out a little bit sometimes. And auto writing, that's it. I knew, hey, Bill, how you doing? I knew it was something I just couldn't, it was on the tip of my tongue and I just couldn't spit it out. But, yeah, I mean, we were talking about Augusta, and sometimes I think I pinpoint her too much in a way. And I was trying to get a hold of Henry and how Henry felt with Ed's headstone not being next to him, because we all know that there's problems with that headstone being stolen a couple times, and now it's in safekeeping, so that way it can't happen anymore. And then also people come in and they chip away at Augusta's headstone, which is, I don't know why people do that. I think it's so wrong. Regardless who the person is, you just don't do that to a headstone. But your scribbles were getting pretty dark at that point.
Yep.
I mean, yes, that's right, Bill. And what was going through your mind, and what was coming through you as when we were me and Scott were talking?
I was getting I don't know. I can go get my notebook, but I was trying to remember. I was getting something about a rope. I remember that. A knife. What's the matter, buddy?
That she does, Bill. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. My son's right here.
It's okay. That's okay. We're rolling with it.
Yeah, we're rolling. So in the beginning, I don't know, you guys started talking about something, and then I was getting, I'm not sure who it was towards, but it was like a rope, and then I got a knife, and then something about faith. I don't know, when you guys were starting to talk to Augusta, like, that's when it got really intense. Like, the scribbling got really dark as she was getting angry with you, and she's like, stop. Yeah, she didn't want nothing to do with that at all.
Yeah. And I understood that. Go ahead, Scott.
She's sure active wherever we go.
Yeah, that she is. That she is, and I know for a fact that she hates me to the core.
He does.
It's like I don't know. I think it was that time, the first time when I got weird in the jail by holding his trigger objects and stuff like that, and then I just kind of went in a weird path and just really started kind of calling out Augusta a little bit more than I should have. Like I so to speak poked the bear too much, and it's just I think from that point on she doesn't like me. So um but that's okay. Sometimes it's okay to push just a little bit and not too much and be tactful about it and not be a jerk about and honestly I don't think I didn't realize I was looked like I was provoking, which I didn't mean if I was in video format. So and those are things I try to stay away from. If I do it, I try to do it as tactfully as I can. So yes, that she does. I really found out a lot, and she doesn't really let him speak so much. Correct, guys?
Got to go through Augusta. No doubt.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like I guess I try to get to the main course and just try to see what I could get. Sometimes there's things that you want to find out that somebody else hasn't found out, and for the information and all that stuff. So it's like I guess I try to press a little bit, try to get something. Hey, Penny, how you doing? There's Taryn. It's the
Hi, Darren.
Hey, Patty. So from there, it got, like I said, it got pretty cold, and at that point, we were about all just done chilling. But the one thing that I remember also as well is that we had a visitor with us as we were doing what we were doing, as they came around with the truck and just kind of watching us and seeing what we're doing and stuff like that. And he was taking pictures and filming us too, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
So, yeah, that was pretty creepy. How did you feel about that, Michelle? Is that something that makes you not want to go back to that for a while and just kind of skip out on it?
What, having that guy show up?
Yeah.
Nah, he doesn't bother me.
Okay. I just thought that was kind of strange,
It was, but what are you gonna do? It's no different than, I don't know, someone that's being convicted with a crime, get surrounded by cops, and you get people watching. It's just, it is
Right.
what it is.
Well, I guess hopefully we made the paper, maybe. in a good way, I guess. Or it made somebody's YouTube channel, whatever. So from there we moved on to the old schoolhouse, which is not too far away. Actually, it's kind of almost like as if when you come into Wautoma, correct? Before we get to the museum side of things.
Depends on where you're coming from.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're coming from the Amro way, it's pretty close by. And then you move on a little bit further, then that's where the museum is. So this old schoolhouse, I thought that was a pretty cool little place. Something different, something new, like just a one big room schoolhouse. And then they're in the process of putting all because it was moved from Mount Morris, so they're in the process of making it look nicer, bringing all the stuff back that was originally part of the building, which will be pretty cool in the summertime when it all comes to fruition. So, and another thing, that place was cold. Inside, it was cold as shit. I don't know if it was more cold inside there than the cemetery. I don't know. It was weird. So, what is your intake of the schoolhouse, Michelle? How do you feel about that place, and as far as like activity wise, do you think there's a potential to be more spirits there to be more active, like more in the summertime?
I can't really say like seasons, but I do know that I feel a lot of spirit are there for the land and not for the building.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I kind of wonder. Do you think like anything where it was on land, does it follow the property when it moves to a different land, and then all of a sudden now you're on new land? Does that intermix and change the feel of a place sometimes? Do you think?
It probably stirs them up,
Okay.
throws them off.
And potential new spirits to move in, maybe?
Yeah, I think that spot though, to me, I feel like I don't want to
Hey,
say a
Becky.
portal, but I feel like it's a lot of spirits come and go. I don't think a lot of them are stuck there. I really think that it's just like a highway.
Yeah. So kind of like,
That's why,
like orbs that kind of come in and just go off on their own, passing through.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I really think that some of them are the land.
Okay. And, our spirit talkers will be active in the summertime. We get out there and just kind of really sit and feel that place out, and see what we can get different as far as from when we were there. Scott, so how did you feel about the building itself and the energies that you were feeling there? I know you had your K2 out, and I was going nuts pretty much the whole time there.
Now, once we actually got inside the schoolhouse, and I was sitting by the piano with the K2 meter going, I was going nuts. And I can't remember the guy's name that was with us.
Tom.
When Tom walked toward me, the K2 meter just stopped. Then we walked away, it picked up again. So
That's strange.
that threw me for a loop.
But the thing is, you want to have those people that are around those buildings a lot, like Lori at the museum and Tom, that he pretty much goes back and forth to both places. I like having them in the room because I think they add more as a trigger object way of things. Maybe the energy was going from your K2, maybe it stepped over to him, and that's why your K2 shut off as much as it did.
Possible.
But I think the spirit talkers were a little bit off when we were in there. But Michelle, again, so she was doing her scribbles again in the old schoolhouse, and you were coming up with some interesting stuff there. What were you getting there?
A lot of names. Something about I got a message through that was I think it was a girl, and it was saying that some like her dad left her. The teachers were mean. I'm trying to remember. I wrote it all down. Somewhat farming.
And you were getting a lot about farming.
Was a
I
lot.
remember you were also getting like some kid's dad was coming to the building.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get my book. Hold on.
All right, that's fine. While she gets her book and stuff. So Scott, what are the other things that you're besides the K2 meter? Is there anything that kind of struck like your attention, like what we can potentially do for different like experiments in there?
Well, the cat balls went off a few times on the floor.
It did, yes.
Thought that was pretty nice.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot. And I even went over there to step on by where they were just to make sure that when I was stepping in, because of the way, how the building is built up on it, kind of like on a hill, just to make sure that when I stepped, the ball didn't move, with me as I was stepping, and it didn't. So it was pretty well straight in that format. I tried to get the tape deck to go off, and that didn't go off, so that wasn't too bad. Cat balls. yeah, we do well with cat balls. A lot of people do well with cat balls. So, what's that, Scott?
We love cat balls.
Yeah. I think. All right, so you got your notes back here. So we'll
Yep.
go to Michelle as she was talking about farming and all that stuff.
Yeah. Some of the things that I got was
All right, Bill, take it easy. Thanks for stopping in.
a girl. She had long hairs, curly. She loved music, and she knew a holiday was coming. And then I got the name Zachary, and then a
I think we
less.
got that multiple times, didn't we, at the cemetery as well, I think.
Yeah. And then I got a Chester. And then I kept hearing like children crying. Not sure what that was about. And then you asked what their favorite subject was, and I got math. And then you asked the age, and I got 7.
Yep.
And then
There's Marcia.
then they got punished for no reason. And then I got
Right.
like for sacrifice, farming. I was just a bunch of stuff. Like, and then I got farm again with cows. Then it says like father stop. He left me. Like take me home. I don't belong here. And that pretty much like sums it up. Like it was just a lot of random pieces. Like so it just seemed like there was a lot of traffic. I was feeling very traffic energy. So I
Mhm.
wasn't very settled in one spot. I could just like the energy just kept moving. So
Yeah.
that's how I described it as like a highway.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, it's just there's so much things going on there with you and the book and all that stuff going.
Yeah.
And again, it was cold, so it's kind of hard to concentrate on what you're doing when it's so cold outside. I now Marsha's in chat, everyone. So everyone say hi to Marsha.
Hi, Mark.
She's my wife. That's also part of our team. And I sat down in one of the desks. I almost took a header there. But yeah, I mean it was hit or miss a little bit, but I think that was a pretty a good solid base to start off from and go from the next time we go. And oh yeah, Marsha's upstairs. Um, so I think when we go forward and go into the old schoolhouse again, we'll just have to go off of those notes and just see what more we can lead off of them and what else comes through that. So I think that would be a good thing. So after that, I think we went about just short of an hour, I believe. And then after that, we decided to go to the museum finally for the remainder of the evening, which is about leaves us with about 6 hours left. And Nia reminded we started at noon, so we got done about 8 o'clock that night. And that was actually the first time we ever did a daytime investigation at the museum. And for those of you that don't know what museum I'm talking about, it's the Washoe County Historical Museum in Wautoma, Wisconsin. So, and there's quite a bit of spirits there, and not pertain to one individual in spirit, but there's many spirits in that building. So, and so that was it. It got nice inside. I'm not gonna lie, it was nice being inside. um, but the jail cells are pretty cold. So at that point, I think we were, just getting all our stuff in and just kind of, I'm setting the scene for people with this museum that we all just got there. We got all our gear out and in this the storefront area. And so what I decided to do was to try the walkie-talkie experiment. So what I did with that is I took a walkie-talkie to the upstairs jail, and I had it try to position where it stayed on the whole time for, I'd say, about an hour or so. Not to mention I paired it with a digital voice recorder, and just to see if we could get a spirit to talk through the walkie-talkie while we were, I think Lori was monitoring the walkie-talkie session because I left her with a walkie-talkie, and then we were all on the house side of things. I think let's see, it was me and Scott in the attic for a little bit, and then Michelle came up and joined us for a little while. And then Marcia was in the children's room for a little bit. So how did you feel that how the attic was, Scott and Michelle?
It was just a little bit more quiet than it usually was. And I know I had my RIM pod set up. That thing was going kind of nuts, but Michelle debunked that with the floorboard.
Yeah, accident.
So otherwise, it's kind of quiet up there, I thought.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's, and I was thrown at that theory like the last few times that we were there, it was kind of like we went through like a 20-minute trial, like run period, and then after 20 minutes, like it would just start going nuts, things would start heating up, and it just got kind of crazy. So Kidron was not active at all, so that's what she was finding. Because she was there for, I want to say she was in there for almost an hour, and I think that, like I said, didn't feel active very much. And then eventually, Michelle, you actually went into the children's room with Marcia, and you had a special toy with you. Well, now, what kind of toy was it you had with you?
It's a toy robot that's motion censored. And I didn't really get a whole lot with like interaction in that room with it, as I was hoping, but I know Marcia was getting stuff on her spirit box after I started playing music, and they're like enjoying it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was pretty quiet.
Yeah, it was kind of hit and miss in that building pretty much throughout the whole night. And like she was mentioning, we were doing the balloon experiment, the same experiment that I was doing at Broadhead Manor. And again, it was pretty quiet. We were trying doing different things. Marcia loved the robot. And yep, that was true. And she forgot about that. But the balloon experiment, we went all over with that place. With that balloons. We took it off the tripods. We left them on the tripods. We popped a few. It was funny. It's all on live, folks. You can see what kind of fun we were having trying to get that going again. And we were in the jail part doing that. So, but that was kind of interesting. So after being up in the attic, and we kind of just was hanging out a little bit because like I said, we've been doing this since noon, and for some of us we were trying to take a little bit of a break, and that's good. I want to make that important to say that when you're on investigation, it's okay to take a break once in a while. You don't have to constantly go and investigate for all 8 hours, and you're still getting your money's worth. You're going to locations and investigating, and you're still having fun. So not every time you're going to get something. And that's the thing I want to point out, is that you could spend so much money going to the Sheboygan Asylum, so to speak, and be there for 10, 12 hours and get nothing, Some will say that's a waste of money. I say no, because it was cool. I got to spend 10, 12 hours in a insane asylum. So that's just how paranormal investigations go. But anyhow, so the walkie-talkie experiment, that was interesting, because as I was playing back on the recorder, I heard that the walkie-talkie went off a couple times. Somebody was speaking into it, and I don't know who it was. The third time I knew it was Lori. But it was kind of interesting. But I did catch a couple things on the recorder that I thought were pretty cool. And I'm going to set my phone up here so you guys can hear the two EVPs that I caught. And let you listen to them. So give me a second here to get it prepped up. see here. Give me a minute here. Gotta find them. Okay, so here is the first EVP, and hopefully you all can hear this. So that first EVP was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Nobody was up there. We were all on the house side of things. And that was right in the room where the recorder was. So in the upstairs jail part, we have, was it 5 jails, correct?
Six.
4 in the center, and then there's one off to the side. And then they got the lunchroom, I think, where they would bring in the food. But that was pretty cool. Catching to hear the jail door opening up and, shutting it at the same time. I thought, damn it, I wish it had video, but I didn't. So I definitely have to do it next time and have video going. Now, the second EVP is same area, but what it sounds like to me, and this is me just saying, it sounds like somebody is walking out of a jail and trying to run down the steps, but then all of a sudden just stops. So I'll play that. So, what do you guys think of these EVPs?
Hard to make out the second one. I heard the sound like a door closing or something. That was it.
Okay. What do you think, Michelle?
I'm a little skeptic, but I don't know. I'll have to debunk that.
Yeah, we'll have to definitely test it out next time we're there to see, shutting. And are you able to even shut those jail cells?
You know, I think there's some that you can't.
Okay.
I don't even think some of them have a door on there.
I don't think they do either. But that's interesting, though. We're not up there, and you hear that.
Yeah.
So now we got to find out what cell that was. I'll play the second one again real quick. I'll get closer to the mic. Maybe. So hopefully you're able to hear that second time around. Was it a little bit better or not really?
I still don't hear anything.
Okay. Well, there was some extra noises going on prior to that or after that. So EVPs are always hard to, do on a live, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was pretty cool that we caught that. She says yes.
What does Marsha think?
Very faint. So she says it's very faint. And the first part is notable, but afterwards, yes, it's very faint as to hearing what voice is being said or what's moving around. So there's Denise. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have to set it up there again. I mean, it was, like I said, it was up there for an hour. It was all by itself. Nobody was over on that side. So definitely have to get. I'm gonna get video footage going on in there and see if I could catch anything at that point. And it was during the daytime, so the next time we go will be at 6 o'clock, so I won't get that daytime effect of it. So, but I have night vision on my camera, so yeah. And you never know. I mean, we can get disembodied voices. I have to go and clean that up again through a program and see what else more I can catch off of that. Um, so that was the experiment with the walkie talkies, which is never really played around much or so on lives, and it's kind of hard to do. Yeah, I have definitely to try it with the camera. So the next thing we had going was, let's see, where else did we go? I don't think we did too much more. I think we took another break, and then we decided to go down to the downstairs part of the jail. And at that point, we decided that we're going to do a SS method. And what the SS method is, someone has the headphones on, listen to the Necrophonics app, which I like to use for the SS method, and because you can't use it with Spirit Talker, it doesn't work that way. But it was Michelle's first time of doing the SS method, and so we're all in the same area doing the system. So how do you feel about your first experience doing the SS method?
I thought it was pretty cool. Like
What'd you think? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Keep talking.
I had no idea what the conversation outside of the headphone was. So hearing what I was hearing just made me question what is he saying, because it was kept repeating itself, she's coming, hide, and it was just I don't know, I thought it was kind of interesting.
It was. And again, I was talking about, Augusta and Ed, and again, this is where Augusta shined, lashing out at me again, telling me to leave and get out of there, and be quiet, hush. It was quite. Now that I remember that, when we were at the cemetery and I turned on my Spirit Talker, the first word was hush. So she told me to hush right away. So, but yeah, that was interesting, and you did pretty good for the first time doing so. So I think next time when we do that, we'll have a little more separation, because I think at that point, I think we were all too close to one another. So I don't know if that would make a difference if we all walk away a little bit more. Yeah, yeah, she dominates that part of the museum. Absolutely correct. So Scott, this was your first time watching someone do an SS method. What did you think?
I thought it was pretty creepy when it said my name. It's what are the odds?
Right.
We got to try that again and see if it happens again.
And you'll find that the more we do that, and the more she does it, and the more that Marcia does it, I think it would be interesting to see how the differences are, and then eventually, if you want to try it, you can try it as well. So, oh yeah. So, it does get interesting when your name does come through a spirit box. Now, the Necrophonics, I know my name comes through almost all the time. I've gotten used to it. I've gotten used to it to watching Facebook Lives, and my name comes through there a lot. So it's just because I'm in everybody's live a lot. When they say my name, is that triggering that spirit box to say my name through it? So, or it just knows that I'm watching, So that's the kind of interesting thing about that. But I do like the SS method, and maybe what we should do, and I didn't think of this sooner, is how do you feel about putting blindfolds on?
I would do
Go ahead.
I'd probably fall asleep.
Fall asleep. Do you think that'll work better for you, Michelle and Marcia, if you want to do a blindfold?
Honestly, in my opinion, not the whole, most of the time when I was doing it, I had my eyes closed because I was trying to focus on what was coming through. So I guess it wouldn't matter if I was blindfolded or not.
Mm-hmm. And she is right here. More sensor deprivation is correct on that. You take your sight away, you have your ears, and then it's also the feeling in the room itself of what your emotions are bringing.
Yeah.
So we'll get some of those blindfolds and have those ready for the 17th. And that way we'll try it again. And I'll bring 2 headsets this time with me. And we'll get 2 of them going. And just see what happens. And, if we put you in one jail cell and put Marcia in another jail cell and just see what comes out of it. Or if you're in a jail cell and she's in a doctor's office, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we can try it both ways. So pretty much that was pretty much the night. I mean, like I said, it was hit or miss. I think that we ended up trying the hell out of that balloon experiment.
I was really hoping we would get something, especially having steps.
Right. That's something we're just going to keep trying. And like I said, I don't ever see anybody doing it on a Facebook Live. And I've only seen it once on Destination Fear, but that was something different. Yep, we had a balloon on the stairs. I remember that. You put one on... Marcia, she put one on the 4th step, I believe. And then she put one on, like, the base floor part. So we're gonna have to try and just do something different and involve it and do a little bit more and see if we can get results. I think we'll get really close, maybe at Broadhead, but we'll just keep trying again. I got plenty of balloons in my bag, so we'll do it until it gets old and people say, all right, move on. Obviously it's not working, and then watch. That's when it happens, So, other than that, yeah, that was pretty much the night, guys. So I went through a lot of the EVP sessions that I did with the recorders. And so, Scott, did you come up with any EVPs at all on your search?
All this wind and stuff. I didn't get nothing.
No, nothing.
EVP recorders going. So pretty silent.
Okay. Yeah, the big hit for me was that walkie-talkie experiment. Just hearing a bunch of taps, noises, bangs, the doors. Sound like someone's walking around up there, which I know nobody was. So that was pretty much it as far as EVP goes. Didn't get nothing up in the attic. Didn't get nothing at the schoolhouse.
Here, hug my arm in the attic.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did the SLS. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So the SLS was quite interesting. Scott, you want to talk about that?
Well, this is the first time we used it. And we were sitting down up there, and an anomaly showed up, a little stick figure. And had Michelle walk over there by it. She stuck her arm out and got hugged. And she said she felt cold in her arm. So it worked out pretty good till I bumped it. Then it went up.
Yeah, I remember watching it. It's like, God dang it, now I gotta go through all these programs and get it all up and going again. Then you had me go over there because I went where she was, and then Michelle actually grabbed the live.
Yeah.
You had me sitting there doing a little jig in there.
Yep, twerking away.
Yeah, it was funny. It was funny. The one thing I do need to mention that I forgot is when we were in that bottom part by the cells, the big open part, I end up walking back into the cell area where Ed was and stuff, and I grabbed a chair and I sat down next to the cell, just outside of the cell, but just sitting there. and I can remember hearing something like shouting in my ear, like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm gonna grab you, blah blah blah. You know, you mentally can hear it, like in your brain, like you're hearing it, like somebody's whispering in your ear. I get off the chair, walk out of the cell, and then I remember telling you guys, like, I got cobwebs in my ear, like somebody's grabbing my ear, you know. And I think that's Augusta was grabbing my ear. So that's the only time I got touched that night with the you know, at the museum. So that was pretty cool. So now we got the recap in the back burner.
No, I actually forgot something. Don't you remember?
Yes.
the night-
What's
That
that?
was the highlight of the whole. When Michelle had her cups out and picked her up
Oh,
4 times in a row.
Oh yes.
That was the best.
And God's like, I'm taking you to the museum, or not the museum, the casino.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, that's right.
Hell yeah.
The cups. Yeah, so for those of you that we weren't live for this part because we were all ready to head on out, but Michelle wanted to do this cup thing that she saw on TikTok, and it was like you got to flip the cups around and all this stuff, and it had like what'd she have in there? Just an object.
Yeah, she had a keychain.
Yeah. So she had a guess of where this keychain was, and she was facing the other room, so she didn't see Lori move the cups around, and she got it off the bat right away. I got it the first time, but after that, I flunked the rest of them. But you were what, 4 for 4?
Yep.
Yeah, she was 4 for 4, and Scott's like, "All right, let's go to casino."
Blackjack.
Yeah.
And at that point, I looked at my wife, I was like, "Yeah, let's go to casino." She can pick the slot machine out, and we all can win some money and
Yeah.
walk away with a handful. So
Percent.
yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yep.
Well, that was basically my way of demonstrating too. Like, it's energy. Like, like spirit is energy, an object is energy. Literally everything on this earth is energy. And I can sense energy. And just no matter what it is, I can hold an object in my hand and it will take me places in my mind, tell stories. It's like, it's energy. I pick up on it. So like when I have like 8 cups in front of me, all I do is scan them with my eyes, and I can feel if it's like a full energy or an empty energy. And that's how I'm able to pick out which cup it is, like, boom, because I can feel that the cup feels heavy, and that's because it's got something in it. It's the energy I feel. And so yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So
Mhm.
maybe what we'll do on the 17th, we'll do it again, and this time we'll just go live with it and see and have people watch it. I think
Sure.
that'd be fun. So now that leads us to our new adventure, which is going to be on December 17th. Granted that the weather is great and nobody has any issues arriving to the museum. We're going to have our final investigation of the year. Marsha says yes. And so we're going to have the 4 of us, and we're going to have Ethan Kemerud. So hopefully Ethan can make it. I did leave the option for him to come into the chat if you'd like to, but he couldn't commit either way, so I just left it open. So if he pops in, he pops in. So we'll have Ethan, which is part of Paranormal Exposures and Ethan Encounters, for those of you that don't know who Ethan is. He's a great person to have on an investigation, very knowledgeable on things, has a lot of ghost hunting tools, and so that's gonna be a lot of fun, I think. And that way, we could split the team up in like 2 to 3 and 2 to 2, and one does a solo. However, we could do it so many different ways that night. So it's gonna be interesting how the matches, pair up and do things. Um, so that's gonna be exciting. We will be there from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. And what I'm looking forward to is next year is maybe go beyond the 2 a.m. portion. What do you think? You think there's more beyond 2 a.m.?
Be a lot more Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I was thinking coffee as soon as you said that.
See, I'm used to it. I mean, I'm used to going until 5, 6 o'clock in the morning on investigations. So I think that'd be cool for new boundaries at the museum. And speaking of which, how did you do that one night, Scott? You said you're trying to stay up as long as you could stay up.
Actually, I did pretty good. Shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like Marsha was saying, if Lori is up for that, and I think she would, I think I would give her, a couple extra more dollars to expand the night a little bit. Because I'm really curious because, she sent me that video footage of up in the attic where that camera was picked up and moved. So, and that was like after 2 a.m. in the morning. So I'm kind of curious of what comes alive after 2 a.m. Does it get a little more heavy? Does it get a little more darker? I mean, the 3 a.m., the witching hour. I'm kind of curious to see what you get from that hour,
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah. Excuse me, I gotta grab a drink here. So, yes, witching hour, devil's hour, yeah, it's all the same, pretty much. So I'd be kind of curious to see how that we do with that building. So that's something for next year to look forward to. We'll give that a try. And that way, Lori's got enough time ahead, and everybody knows that that's what we're planning on doing. And I don't know. I'm just excited for the 17th. Scott's got some new toys, so that's gonna be interesting. And Ethan's got a lot of his stuff. So, and then the three of us with all the gadgets, and then the girls that they use themselves as trigger objects and what they can go through and what they feel, and and Michelle coming out with names and spirits talking to her and stuff like that. I think it'll be kind of interesting how everything molds together. So, but that's far as much as the 17th goes. Granted, like I said, knock on wood, it's great weather and everybody is able to make it and just have a fantastic night. The other thing I wanted to mention too is that does someone have a birthday in December?
Yep.
So in December, before we go on our investigation, we'll go out to eat beforehand. Marshall, like this, we'll go to the Moose Inn, and we'll sit down and have dinner at the Moose Inn before we go to our investigation. So I think that would be a lot of fun, and get our bellies full before investigation, because that's important. Got to have your bellies full. You don't want to be depleted. So, but yeah, so we'll meet there at 4 o'clock on the 17th to get a bite to eat, and then from there, let's have one hell of a night. Last investigation of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, but pretty much that's all I got here. What do you guys got on your minds as far as like investigating wise that night? Do you have some ideas that you want to share on here that you want to try?
I want to do a solo cat ball.
Okay. What part of the building would you like to do that in?
Probably attic. That's always the most active for me.
Okay.
Me and a
Just
cat.
Just don't fall down the stairs.
No.
Michelle, what do you got? What do you want to try?
Well, something that you don't approve on, but I still want to do my solo upstairs jail cell. I want to do a repeat. I know
Okay.
you don't like me going up there by myself, but
Well, last time it was because
I can think I can handle it.
I think you can. I mean, last time it was because I know think your mom was there with us last time we were there, and you were wanting her to go up there with you. But you were up there with Scott last time, and that didn't pan out so well because you end up leaving after what 5-6 minutes.
Well, that's because the energy was so intense, and that's why I want to go again, because I want to be able to actually like last. I want to stay up there, and
There's Taryn again.
what's up there? What's this heavy energy? Like I really want to figure it out. So that's my goal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's fine if you want to go up there and try it. That's as long as it's because the thing up in the upstairs jail is that there's a spirit that likes to push women down the stairs, and I'm not too fond of having Marsha up there by herself either because I don't want her to get pushed down the stairs. Nonetheless, you get pushed down the stairs because then that's that'll put you guys in jeopardy of getting hurt. And I don't want anybody on our team to get hurt at all, regardless. So, but the difference is this time around.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay.
Ugh, okay.
Yep. So with that, that time around I didn't have walkie-talkies. So now I have walkie-talkies, so she'll have a walkie-talkie, and Marshall will have a walkie-talkie. Maybe what we should try and do is, okay, she's going to go to the upstairs part of the jail. Let's have Marshall go in the downstairs part of the jail. So then that way they're close below each other, and then you want to be in the attic by yourself, and then I could do a solo maybe in the kitchen or the children's room. Because I'm going to bring Felix with me. Hold on. We got something here. All right. Oh. Sorry. So I'm going to have Felix with me. See, Marsha said she's not scared. She's already been choked. So I don't know. Let's try it. Let's try it out and see how we do. We'll all have walkie-talkies. We'll be in contact with each other, and that way, if somebody gets in trouble, we can stop what we're doing and go help the other person that's in trouble. So that's the difference this time, because last time, like I said, we didn't have walkie-talkies, and now I got walkie-talkies. So I think that gives you a little bit more of confidence of going up in the upstairs jail, I think. Michelle?
I was gonna go up there regardless.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't know. I just want to do it.
So, what is it you're looking for up in the upstairs jail? Like, why is it so heavy? Or
The energy is so strong up there, and it scared me away the first time. And I'm just gonna go head on, and I wanna figure out what it is. I want to be able to actually like in tune with it, like see what I can get. If this is gonna communicate with me through thought, I don't know, but I would love to see who it is, what it is, and maybe get some evidence. I don't know. It's my goal.
okay. Well, now that the museum has obtained a recorder, I would
Yeah.
definitely take a recorder up there with you.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, take a recorder up with you. See how you do. Definitely take a flashlight with you, because it's gonna be dark up there. And yeah, let's see what you can do. Maybe switch, because with the 4 or 5 different cells that are up there, and they're all theme based. see which ones hit harder. Maybe you'll find a cell that hits a little harder than another one, and try and figure out why this one hits harder. Because I know at one point it was the first cell, Scott, that you went in, and then you went in with him, like right in the doorway. It felt heavy, correct?
That record player room. As soon as I tried going in there, I had to stop because I felt the heaviness. Then after a few minutes, it was gone. And I walked right in, and it was all good after that. So I know.
Did you feel the same way, Michelle?
It was definitely heavy, but it must have followed me into the cell that I was in on the right side of the room. But then it was so heavy that I'm like, maybe I need to switch, cells. So I went into a different one right directly across from Scott, and it was like getting more intense. So I was like, I'm leaving. I know I was a wimp, but I did end up leaving. Now I want to re-experience it, so try to last longer.
And that's good sometimes to face your fears head on, because I mean, there's some that I gotta face myself, but it's good to do that.
Buddy.
It's good to take yourself to the next level to find out what is making that so freaky and heavy, and get answers. I mean, that's what we're here for, to get answers as to what's going on in that museum as well. So yeah, I mean, that would be good. So we can definitely plan on 4 solos. But before we get going on our investigation, like I said before, I would like to. I mentioned this to Scott, and I think I mentioned it to you as well, that I want to move the gear down to that. Is it the filing room with all the newspapers? I think it's behind Lori.
Where are we?
In the basement.
Okay.
That room behind Lori that has the big table.
Yeah.
So I want to move the gear down there, so to speak, because I think having all the gear up in the storefront, which we haven't even investigated the storefront room at all, and to me, I think that takes away from the museum if we have our gear sitting in there. We might as well just have it down in the basement where the refrigerator is and everything else is, and set up in there. And beforehand, like I said, let's talk everything all out before we investigate. I know you like to do a prayer beforehand, so we can do that beforehand, and and just talk it all out before we go investigate, so we have a game plan. So,
and don't start all together.
Right, we'll start all together, have a game plan, know what we're doing. I mean, we discussed some of the things that we wanted to do already. Just bring it back up at that point in time and move forward. I'll have cameras in each different, like I'll have my camcorder in a different room, and so if you're upstairs, I'll try and get that maybe recording up there to see what happens, because I think it will last like 45 minutes, but we'll see how long you last up there. I think you can last at least an hour. I think, anyway. And I know Marcia could last an hour where she's at, so it's going to be interesting, to say the least. She'll have a recorder, you'll have a recorder, Scott's got one, I got one. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So after that, so before before we leave here tonight, I do want to mention that there is going to be a, so to speak, a sign-up investigation for the Valentine season, because they like to have Valentine investigations at the museum. So I will get that out on the page, and for an ad and stuff like that. So for those of you that are in Wisconsin, Illinois, or Iowa, or Minnesota, for all that matter too, if you'd like to come investigate on Valentine's Day, which would be the 11th is when we're going to be doing it in February, I'll have a sign-up sheet made up or written up, I should say, and then just text me or call me or send me a message on Messenger, say, hey, I want to investigate, and then I can tell you what the prices are for that. We'll be splitting up in pairs and groups. The first pair will be from 6 to 9, and then the second pair will be from 10 to 1. So that's a little brief announcement on the Valentine's investigation. I will bring it up more as we get closer to it and stuff like that. So you guys will join us with that. So that'll be fun. Other than that, any last comments you guys want to talk about, or
Can't wait for the 17th.
Michelle?
Yeah, I agree. Can't wait. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, it's a little more active this time. Hopefully, we can get some good stuff.
I think so. I don't think there's anybody else that's investigating before we get there. So that period of time would be a good month and 5 days stretch. We'll see how much it charges without anybody being there. I have not gotten any confirmation that people want to investigate prior to hand. Well, I take the bet. There's one, but that's still up in the air yet. So, other than that, I think that's all I got. So, well, it's been a good conversation, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. And, we'll do another recap show after this 17th so everybody knows what went on. And we'll be live most of the time on the 17th. And as much as I can anyway, without anything dying. But thank you for joining us tonight for this recap and discussing our next up-and-coming investigation. Remember, you have been watching the BB3 TV and the Paranormal Brew Networks on Facebook. Also, if you don't have Facebook, please join us on the MGS Paranormal YouTube channel. We are on it all at the same time. And go through the comments here. Yes, definitely have fun. Marsh says bye. And Tom says thank you. And with that, I bid you all adieu, and you all have a great week, and hopefully everything goes by fast, and the 17th comes up real fast. So with that, I say so long, everybody, and catch you on Friday.